Hey, everybody, and to the BuildForce. This is Gunpla SA. I'm Paul. I'm joined by Jeff, obviously.
Hello.
You have found yourselves in the BuildOff or the 2024 BuildOff Championships,
Yeah.
sort of judging ceremony, should we say prize ceremony?
Yeah, prize
Um,
ceremony. Yeah.
Prize ceremony,
But
or
yeah,
winners ceremony.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
go through everybody's entries as well. So yeah. Yeah, so this is
yeah.
really awesome. It's our first time doing like a Gunpla SA Championships builder. Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. And
Oh,
just a shout out to everybody in the chats quickly. Lindsay, what's up? Hey Zenith, what's up? Aesthetic Roboto. Hey Grey Wolf. Hey Random Vortex. What's up, Haddad? And good. I'm glad to hear the sound is working now.
okay.
As you
So
mentioned, is anybody else having sound issues? Just
yeah,
want to just check if it's just a
everybody
Lindsay
got
issue.
sound?
Okay.
Aesthetic says Jeff owes me a sweet for every minute it's late.
Guys, gee, if it was up to me, I would have still waited another week. As it is, we had some technical complications with judging initially because Google Drive was naming the folders with people's names and things, and it was Jeff and I were like, "Oh no, we can't. We don't want to know who you are. We just want to see your art.
Yeah.
You know, we just want to see your build and not see your names and things like that." And this is
We'll get
done,
that we'll get that sorted for next time, yeah.
of course, yeah. So we did want to spend a lot longer on judging, but I mean, we have spent a long time judging these. And I'll tell you why. And let me just get into everything quickly as well. I apologize. I'm apparently a very gassy human being this evening. Okay, for starters, let me just tell you guys, this has been, since we've started Gunpla SA, we've done a lot of challenging things. A lot of, we've had a lot of like interesting obstacles and fun stuff to overcome and etc. and all that good stuff. This by far, and I'm not messing with you here. This by far is the one of the most difficult things we've ever had to do as Gunpla SA. That's Jeff and myself. Because for many reasons. Firstly, the stakes are pretty high. If we just look at it from a prize point of view, the stakes are pretty high. It's not a small prize. So there's a lot of weight that gets put on you with regards to that. We are aware of what we're giving away, what it's worth, and so we've had to be like maybe more anal than normal when it comes to judging these things. Second thing is, it's a lot of kits. It's quite a huge undertaking. I mean, the quantity and the quality of the builds for this have been outstanding. Like, guys, before we do anything, just for any of you guys that have actually entered, please take a second just
Congratulate yourself, yeah.
congratulate yourselves. Acknowledge that you guys have done outstanding work, and I'm referring to both the open category and the beginners. There isn't any kit in here that I think is a boo-boo. I think every one of them shows a level of skill and quality that hasn't been shown by those same builders before.
Yeah.
I think there's something that, even.
Yeah, so even like I can see certain members are like, this is their first time doing certain things. I can see they went all out. Within their skill level, they went all out. So
Cool.
It's very brave of people.
I see Scott and Kev are hanging out today. Very nice.
Nice.
Because they both say hi there in the chat. So guys, the first thing so the next thing I want to say about this is, with you guys knowing that this has been very, very difficult for us to do, obviously Jeff and I have put ourselves in the position to do this. Okay. And we love doing it. It's been one of the highlights of my year. It's actually been this championship BuildOff. So we're going, remember, we have been meticulous about this. We have given it scores. We have avoided trying to speak about your builds without trying to let each other kind of influence each other. There are builds that Jeff would love to see coming in first, second, and third. There are builds that I would like to see coming in first, second, and third. Okay, but the scores are the scores, and that's just how it is. Okay, and I want you guys to just know that, like, it is. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think everybody. I wish it was top 5, or something, instead of top 3. But unfortunately, the world doesn't work that way. At least not yet. And the other thing that I want to kind of really put out there as well. I know you guys are all excited and you're chomping at the bit to get into this. The other thing that I want to just say here is that it's important to remember that, yes, there's a first, second, and third prize. Yes, those prizes are very cool. Yes, there's airbrushes involved and there's kits involved and all that stuff. But I want you guys to remember the real prize is sitting in your house right now with you. You have built an incredible kit, okay? And the thing is, obviously, we want to show it off to everybody. So, Jeff and I would like to make arrangements with you guys. If you guys want to show off your kits in person, please let us know. I think Jeff and I should actually do like an exhibition day that will happen next year.
We can bring it to like a build meet or send it to us.
Yeah, or everybody can see it. Obviously, if you don't want to send your kits, that's also understandable, because I understand postage and things like that can be hectic and nerve-wracking and all that. But yeah, guys, the real prize is that you've built that kit. And I know that some of you are going to be like, ooh, that guy should have gotten first, or that guy should have gotten second. And I get it. Which is why Jeff and I have got our scores, Gunpla SA. And then, of course, we're going to open it up to you guys.
Yeah, it's going to have a spot prizes, yeah.
That's correct. So there's going to be like the community awards, and the community awards won't be the first, second, and third of each category. That will be everybody else. Let's call them the runner-up, but I really don't like that because, wow. Okay. Also, and sorry, Jeff, just the last thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so the spot prizes, we are going to try and make them cool, obviously. I think it's important that the community, that you as a builder know that the community's got you. The community appreciates different things in a build than we do. The community also doesn't have the responsibility of, carrying this thing sometimes. So it's actually nice that you guys don't have that. But that's okay. Like I said, I think Jeff and I take on ourselves. But please remember, if you did not get first, second, or third, that does not mean that your kit is not good. And I say this every time. Sometimes the difference between first, second, and third are literally 0.5.
Like less than a point,
yeah, they're less than a point difference. Sometimes it really is just the difference between this one's photograph or something had too much of a hot point there versus this one's photograph, which was like a little bit better, or this guy had a scratch in his decal and that guy didn't. And unfortunately, just the way that the scoring had to work is we had to give that guy with the unscratched decal the thing. So please just keep that in mind. With that said, Jeff, is there anything you would like to say before we get into this?
Yeah, so when you mention about spot prizes, so just a reminder, the spot prizes, there will be a Google form after the build cast. Just give me a bit of like an hour or something. I'll set it up for everybody, and we have like 1 day until like tomorrow night, then we'll close it. So yeah.
Cool. And then
like
also,
Paul says, it's going to be everybody else who hasn't won. So it's the top 3 from open and beginner category. Those people, because they've won, they won't be within the spot prize.
They won't be considered. The other thing, so now as we go into this, let's take a deep breath.
Sure.
And then also just to give you guys an idea on the format's going to be a little bit different. Jeff and I are not going to speak about every single kit ad nauseum. We're literally going to show an image of the kit, say something positive about it, or mention something about it that we think is important, like one highlight, and move along. Please do not feel that if we've mentioned something that you're somehow being targeted personally with this. We are looking purely at your build. And what Jeff and myself are going to try and do as best as we can to say, you could have your weathering was great, maybe try this kind of thing. That's the vibe. And of course, Jeff and I will be offering a one-on-one type thing, which we can actually start looking at maybe a little bit in January. You guys can book a session with us.
Like a DM us or something.
Yeah. And this is even if you've taken top 3, maybe you want to hear some thoughts or whatever's. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And speaking about the points that you raised, is like when we talk about these points, is like it's not just focusing on this builder. It's like everybody can take notes from the positives and also like I wouldn't say the negatives. It's just like weaker points that can be addressed like stronger. So everybody can benefit from these comments, I feel. And yeah, because we have so many entries, so like let's just say, okay, 36 people entered and 33 people finished. So that's like a very like high turnover rate. So that's congrats to everybody has finished, and hopefully the people that didn't manage to finish in time, hopefully you will still finish off your build and show us later on in the community. I would love to see.
Exactly. Also, what people so guys, strap in. Let's get ourselves ready.
Yeah.
Okay. As normal, I'm just gonna the first Gunpla SA Championship BuildOff. Okay. So that is the first screen, and this is just for people who are going to be watching this later. It's going to be a case of anyway, a refresher. Okay, so this is just the rules. If you guys want a screenshot, here are the rules. This is what we are looking for in terms of the quality and inspiration. This is your timeline. This is how to enter and our banking details if you want to donate large sums of money to us. Please do. Although I do recommend that when you do that, you make sure it's a purchase of a model kit, not just giving us money. Submission criteria, once again, what we expect from you. Some of you are a little bit naughty, and Jeff and I say this a lot. Some of you guys lost stupid points here, though, unfortunately, because you did not take proper front sides and back for your shots. Just saying. There were a few instances where I was
like not square images, so they were cropped off.
Yeah. So here's a build of prizes. Again, just a reminder, beginner category, they win one of those 3 HG kits. Open category wins one of those 3 master grades. Obviously, the winner gets to pick which one they want.
Yeah. So just a reminder, the first place winners from each category will have the first pick, and then so forth, so on and so on. What's not included in this slide is that, remember, we are aiming for that 30 finished entry goal, and we did achieve that. So we've got the bonus prizes of the 3 different airbrushes, the Iwata Eclipse, for the guaranteed for first place. You're not choosing there. The second prize winner will win the MadWorks JM00 kit that's got like every single cups and 2 needle sizes, and then the third place
airbrush,
for the MadWorks airbrush, high quality airbrush. And then for the beginner guys, besides your kits, you'll be winning. All 3 of you will be winning the same prize, which is the MadWorks entry nipper. Yeah, and these entry nippers are actually quite like mid-tier. They're very, very good.
Yeah, they're very good. I got to agree with you on that one. Okay.
Cool. Oh, and finally, the spot prizes is going to be 100 Rand gift cards.
Yeah. But honestly, the spot prizes is more a case of you're trying to elevate that build and have it seen. Again, I will be throwing in my own little awards. There's no prizes attached. It's just Paul feels it's this, sorry to speak of myself in the third person, but I mean it like this was my favorite concept award, or I'm gonna be, stand tuned, because you'll see which ones I go for. Jeff might have 1 or 2 of his own, but for the most part, let's rock and roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Build of entries. Beginner category. I hope everybody's let's put everybody as long as everybody's sitting down, I hope we're ready. Okay. And in no particular order, let's go. This is Blommekant.
Yay.
Yeah. Love the colors on this. Love the colors. Yeah. Very bright and vivid colors. Yeah. And
so shall we look at the next slide as well, or you want to just
you got the turnarounds? Yeah, no, it's all good. All I just want to say about this is just yeah, like I like the storytelling in this, especially if you look in the first shot, in the first turnaround shot. I thought the storytelling and the actual turnaround shots was pretty good.
Yeah.
I can sort of see something's going on here, and I like the paint job.
Yeah, cool.
Jeff,
Sweet.
anything you want to add, man?
Okay, so for me, just to sum it up, like for me, it's like I love seeing this refreshing color scheme, and it's like such a high quality finish, you know, like and the presentation is also great, you know, like presentation in terms of the photos and also the base. For me, like I actually feel like, wow, this is very impressive. Like this person is actually a first time entering into our competition, and obviously this is like beginner category, but I feel like okay, for this builder, next time I would say enter into the open category because yeah, this is a really incredible piece. Yeah.
Also, sorry, Jeff, I just want to say on that top left money shot, on that top left turnaround shot, I think for your money shot next time, you should have for something like that. The composition here was very strong versus your actual money shot. So just something to consider there. You know, I think you had a lot more drama in your turnaround shot. So
yeah. And then one last thing I would add to this piece is that you know I can see you use the Gundam markers, panel line markers for panel lining. I would say you know when you reach this point, you know I would say graduate from from those markers into like actual paint. So whether it's panel lining paint or Mr. Weathering paint, you can use those for panel lining. Yeah, because I can see like when I zoomed in, like there were some you were very controlled with your panel line markers, but certain parts you went out of the grooves or out of the detail, and you know it's very hard to clean up now because those markers are again designed for the markers are designed for non-painted kits where you can rub off, but once you painted your kit, they much harder. So and you don't want to use thinners or something, you're going to risk removing your I don't know what kind of paint you used, but yeah, I would say use a different type of paint for panel lining.
Yeah, I've made that mistake in the past.
Very well done. Yeah.
Cool. Next one, lying in wait. Yeah, so here we got a heavy arms that is on actually quite a clever approach to a base, I felt.
Using an art canvas,
yeah, and going for a mottled effect. I appreciated the small variation on the stock scheme, and I thought the paint was for the most part decently applied. I would just say please be careful with panel lining and always make sure you got a good cleanup strategy because there were a few strays here and there with your panel lining. So just keep an eye on that one for your next build. Jeff, anything you want to add, man?
Yeah. So here, you know, when I read your concept of what you trying to achieve, you know, you had like in your vision, you had an ambush in a desert kind of thing. So with that idea, I would say, you know, not focus, like put a bit more work in your base to make it look like a desert. You know, actual use sand or something. You know, kind of a slope and then when you do your weathering, you know, have a bit of sand in your like parts of your kit, you know, that kind of thing, just to make it look like this thing was lying in sand, you know, going for ambush. So,
like a dust, like kind of a dust effect. Otherwise, cool.
You have your references, you know, so you can take a note from there.
Good references. Incidentally, I have those same two references in my reference folder. Eclipse Banshee. Super refreshing to see a Banshee with purple psycho frame. I thought that was cool. I also love that this was a great, at least in my mind, it was a great nod to the Transient Gundam, which has got a purple scheme as well from Build Fighters. I thought gold was quite.
Part is from that kit actually.
I believe so too. Yeah, in fact, I'm pretty certain it is. And I like the use of gold, and I like the color balance. As a beginner, I can see you used some foil stickers here and there, and you used some decals. So kudos to you for trying out decals. I think your paint skill is good enough that you could have actually painted in those areas that you use the foil stickers for. You could have actually painted those in. Something to consider for next time. Or it's not even too late. You can still do it on your current build if you want to enhance it. But I like this. I liked the image of this. I thought it was cool.
So
this is probably
my comment. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, go for it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, for me, like what you mentioned earlier as well, like the purple. I love the purple cycle frame as a nice combo to the dark red. I mean not dark red, dark blue and the gold. It's a very nice combo together. Um,
Mm,
just with the purple effects as well, it blends really nicely together. I would say with the base is that I would love to see kind of the base working with this aura of energy, like maybe have some kind of waves as well coming from the base into it, just so
mm.
that your base and your kit works together as one piece, to tell a story. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good work. Yeah.
yeah, photography was cool. I think you're on the path to becoming quite a strong contender. There's some great quality here, and you get the award for my favorite unicorn type color scheme. So congratulations for that. You got Paul's
Yay.
favorite unicorn color scheme. I really, really like this color scheme a lot. There's your turnarounds. And my word, is a unicorn just not a difficult thing to pose sometimes? Anyway, unleashed rage.
Ooh.
Yeah, so here's okay. So I always think it's cool when guys, in fact, I encourage you to try and punch above your weight. Although it is sometimes safer to stay in a comfort zone and punch only a little bit above your weight. For this builder, firstly, kudos, you did punch above your weight. You tried some things here that I think you weren't ready for, but that's the point of this competition. You push yourself, you see it, you take a risk. So like things like the energy effect coming out of the GN drive or out of the chest and all that I thought was interesting. Creating some explosion effects, that was interesting. I thought this, sorry guys, major frog in my throat, please pardon me. I thought one of the things you executed really well on this build, I felt, and with some refinement, I think you're going to get really good at this, is your weathering actually.
Yeah.
Especially for your stuff that's been trashed at the bottom there, like your defeated units. I like the weathering on that. It really created a nice contrast. And also I thought your color management was good here. You made your main focus red. Everything else is kind of a lot more dull by comparison, or you use the weathering to push the colors down, which I thought it's a good artistic or good compositional choice. Anyway, Jeff, what did you want to say, man?
Yeah. So I can see with this builder, they didn't hold back on their skills. They utilized a lot of their skills that they know of, but scratch building like tentacle parts as well. And yeah, I would say keep exploring. And I can also see that you had a lot of fun creating this piece. So I would say keep doing that. I would just say refinement is what I'll advice on, but refinement can come later. For now, just go wild, go crazy, try different things, like Paul says. Like try all these different techniques and stuff, and then later on we can tone it down. It's much easier to like shout and then come down with it than to go too low and then try and pull you up later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So well done.
And there we go. Cool. Forbidden Fusion, Bleach X Gundam. Yeah. Okay. So this money shot is fun. I get what the builder's trying to do here. Yeah. I mean, I like the skull motif on the back. Only when I mean, had I not read the name Bleach X Gundam, this is not the builder's fault. This is me. I'm not a big Bleach fan, so I didn't immediately read that symbol as the symbol for Bleach for the Shinigami. But aside from that, I thought there was some cool stuff here. I think just be careful when you're going forward. Sorry, just be careful with some masking aspects. There's a lot of mist paint here and there that I think you can save yourself a lot of effort with if you just use some masking tape and stuff. But overall, I like the concept. I thought it was fun. And yeah, I see where you try to go with the base. You try to create some scale, so that's cool. Jeff, what do you want to say, man?
So I just want to say I really dig the giant skull motif on the back. And those sort of subtle asymmetry on the left and right arm, and those sort of two blades with a little bit of asymmetry as well. So Yeah, I would say, that's a really unique concept with the asymmetry. I would say, maybe try lean more into it. In future, if you want to play around with asymmetry, like make it more deliberate, because like it's a very subtle thing. Like actually, when I did my first time pass on my judging, I didn't notice the asymmetry. I don't know if you noticed that, Paul. It's only on my
Yeah, it
second
was.
pass I noticed the asymmetry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things that really elevated this for me in my
Mm.
scoring.
Yeah, it's very like
For this
yin and
builder,
yang kind of feeling.
yeah, exactly. And I think for this builder, you also, again, you may hear me say this a lot, but this is how I feel about a lot of you guys. You are definitely on the right track here. I think just master some basics with your detail painting, and I think you're going to be on your way to being quite a strong builder. And then, of course, there's some reference on this image. Cool. Demi Trainer version Choo Choo. Now,
Choo-choo.
this was, yeah, version Choo Choo. Choo Choo. This for me was one of the, like, I felt from a technical point of view and execution wise, I felt this was one of the strongest contenders. I actually also feel that this could have done quite well had it been put into the open category. Jeff, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I do want to put a special emphasis on the base, which I thought was simple but really well executed. And it's great in these shots because the base elevates the kit. It's got a little bit of detail, it's got a little bit of visual interest, but it's subtle. It's not trying to steal the show, and I dug that. I thought that was cool.
Just to
Paint
provide a
job
bit of
as well.
context.
Yeah, I think this kit would definitely benefit from a top coat just to help, just to help conceal the decals a bit. But other than that, oh, and a little bit of a panel wash, a stronger panel line wash on some things, I think would really help to bring out the details more on this. But that said, yeah, I thought this was really cool. Jeff, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so for me, I really dig the color scheme and also the base, like Paul says. It was very simple with the base, but it's to provide a contextual to provide context, right? I would say can consider maybe white decals on the pink parts, because like it's red decals on the pink, so it's a bit harder to see. So maybe consider white decals on the pink, so it pops more. You can also consider like slightly larger base, just for that context. So it can add a bit of provide you with more dynamic posing, because at the moment it's very it's like a standing pose, like slightly walking pose. But if we know about Choo Choo, like she's a very dynamic character and very like shouty and lots of action, like just punch first kind of thing. So I would imagine when she pilots a mech, she strikes a strong pose kind of thing. So yeah, I would say bigger base so you can do a more bigger explosive energy pose kind of thing. Yeah.
Also, this one for me gets award for like, how do I put it? Most well executed simple base, which is like which is actually kind of high praise from me because I am a big fan of simplicity, especially when your kit is the key factor. What Jeff said about making the base a little bit bigger, please definitely take that to heart. The size of your base helps a lot. Just for your posing and things.
Not too big, just like a little
Not
bit
too
bigger.
big. Yeah, just like just a scooch,
Just so you can
I
like
happen
do
to
an
like
action pose
yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, I like those red decals. So that is really just a case of, hear what Jeff said, consider what he has to say, see if it's in line with your taste or whatever's. For me, you can't win everybody's hearts. I personally like the red on the red. But that's the thing. And I think you, dear builder, I think you need to start seriously considering trying your hand at weathering some spoons or something, adding a little bit of chipping here and there on your spoons, because I think you're ready for that, definitely.
And before we move on to the next one, I just want to add one last thing. So yeah, panel lining, like Paul has mentioned, yeah, I would say do a bit of panel lining wash. And finally is I would say, next time when you enter a BuildOff, enter into the open category, because I feel like your skill level, you are ready for it now.
Totally.
I hope you feel ready for the open category.
Yeah, this kit was a great example of like keep it simple, but keep it tight. which I liked. So cool. Volpanova tank forking dies. Okay. So the thing that stood out for me with this build was the enthusiasm that the builder had. I felt that there's a lot of action and power that's trying to go into the scene. Like cool idea with using the cables, to kind of create that broken cable look there for the arm. This is, of course, the beginner category, so we don't care if it's painted or not, but it has got some paint on, and that is trying to represent some weathering. Yeah, which for the most part, I thought you got kind of, you did decently for the most part. I just don't know what the story here is exactly, except for it's in the title, I suppose. It's Volpanova dies. I think you were too scared, if you don't mind my saying, but I think you were a bit too scared to take the kit out, take the kit apart more for that action scene. Or maybe you just didn't have enough action bases or whatever to keep the parts suspended. Either way, I do love the kineticism here, and I do love the energy and enthusiasm. What I would recommend for you as a builder is your next steps would be start getting good at removing your nubs and things like that from your kit. So once you've done your clip, remove that nub mark. I think cleaning up your nubs, and also it's cool to see weathering, but maybe some panel lining first before we get weathering. So Jeff, what did you want to say there, man?
Yeah. So firstly, not really so much about this kit as I would say I want to check with you, Paul. Maybe we need to update our rules to say keep it family friendly, because the title is a bit, quite extreme. Well, not extreme for us, but like yeah.
I was extreme for me. I was insulted.
So yeah, I just want to keep it more family friendly. That would be awesome. Yeah, and then otherwise my other comments. Let me just, where's my notes? Did I close my list? Yeah, so I'll say cool scene. With him, his arm getting broken and he's getting like hit back and stuff. So that's cool scene. However, I would love to see like what's causing that damage. Just to enhance the story a bit. So I would love to see it's either another mech in your piece, or a rocket, or the source of damage. I would love to see a bit of that. Just to bring like a supporting actor, to your lead actor. Yeah, because that bit of storytelling will enhance the whole piece a little bit more.
Yeah, that's I can see where you're coming from with that. Definitely. Here's your turnarounds.
I love your reference there.
Yeah, that I will be honest with you. That kind of annoyed me. But maybe that's just because I have a strong background in illustrating and doing a lot of research for when I work on projects and things like that, not just my kits. And I think what Jeff had to say here with regards to wanting to adding a second actor to it, or trying to give us an idea of what caused an impact, I think that's the kind of thing where, had you done some research and had some reference, you would have had a guiding star to sort of move towards. And I think that could have helped elevate your stuff, because you, dear builder, have a very good sense for posing, and you've got an enthusiasm to your stuff that I really like. And I would love to see what you do on the next one. But I think some reference would be good. Learn to steal like an artist.
For me, I can see that you just had fun with it. You don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like, you had like 2 lines to your concept, right? So like, it's like, yeah, whatever, just throw something together, which there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, in future, we'd love to see you like put a bit of more pre-production ideas, and yeah, that will make your piece even stronger in future. Yeah,
definitely. 8th Mobile Suit Squad Desert Op. This gets my beginner category award for like coolest photo. I just loved that whole moment of the just this money shot. For me, I just liked how it was shot. I just liked the zoning, and I like that it gives me some sense of scale. Yeah, for me this was fun. I like this. I enjoyed the posing.
Yeah, the little checkers truck.
Yeah, little check, but that was great. Like I'm so glad that somebody used some of the checker stuff for scratch
Jeez.
building.
Yeah, so like to our previous build, this here, the truck is providing as a supporting character to add
Mm,
context. So yeah,
mm.
so you guys can also consider it's not just your main kit as the only piece on the base. You guys can consider supporting actors just to sell the neons and the immersion, right? The
Yeah, yeah.
experience of
To
the
create,
piece. Yeah.
exactly. And it's like one of those situations where if you remove that little truck, I feel like it would take something away from the scene.
It might
Um,
just look like a small, figurine compared
so,
to a
so,
scale thing. Yeah.
so something this builder did, I thought was quite interesting. Um, and it's weird. Like I think it's smart, but I also think it's quite risky. This diorama is actually quite big. It's a lot of dioramas. Like it's like 20% of the diorama is the actual subject, is the mech, but it helps to take photographs, right? So, like, taking photographs of this diorama works really well because of that, giving that range for the diorama. So, for me, it's less of a diorama and more of a set. Um, which I thought was clever, especially in this day and age where we are very Instagram, TikTok, social media focused. Where designing your diorama to be a tool to assist you with your photography, I thought was actually very clever. Another thing that I thought was quite cool here as well is and I don't know this also, and I apologize for this, but this is where I felt that the builder didn't communicate this correctly in the execution here. Was the colors that you used are very dramatic, like the
Mm,
oranges on this unit, and I actually like the stylized kind of feel that gives it, but I can't tell if that is truly your intention because
mm,
um, it doesn't feel like a fully committed idea there. So, like, yes, instinctually, my first gut was like, oh wow, this builder's chosen these interesting colors and trying to do something with the narrative, and then the being very technical side of me had to be like, that's not fully painted, or it just didn't have a lot of intention. That said, I do like this, and it does get my favorite money shot for the open category. I mean, for the beginner category builds. Jeff, is there
yeah.
anything else you wanted to add, dude?
Yeah. So I would say to your story, this is a very good pose to sell that story and the concept. Simple base, to set the scene. Enhance with more refined. Yeah. So I would say, with your weathering, I would say, more controlled and more refined will be, and more blended to the base will be much better for your entire piece. Like I can see
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You see, like I can see there's almost like two type of weathering applied. There's like the bottom half of the body's got this more brown yellowish
Mm,
paint weathering, and the top half has got almost orangey. I don't even know if it's supposed to be paint or is it supposed to be weathering because it looks like it's
mm,
supposed to be weathering. And it's like it kind of pulls it out of the rest of the scene because like with your setup with your base, it's a very like sandy kind of granules.
mm.
So this whole orange just like pulls it out of it. So I would say some kind of way consider what you're using as your sand, and use that same color for your weathering because then you can blend the piece together. Yeah.
But yeah, again, you heard what I had to say, and I hope that's strong because, like I said, this actually surprised me quite a lot in a good way. Love the reference. Um, one day I will feel brave enough just to use the head of a Gundam to try and create a mini diorama of that scene there where you've got the camo covering over the Gundam head with the bit of the beam rifle popping out.
Hmm.
It's a cool moment in the anime as well. Um, SBDRX78 2 Gundam. um, yeah. This is one of those great examples of take something, you know, keep it simple,
Hmm.
but keep it tight. And
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that as well. Like Jeff and I've kind of mentioned it already. It's good that you guys are taking risks and you're pushing yourself out here, and I can see the builder has for some weathering and things. But they also played within their comfort zone a little bit. But that said, I do feel it's a very straightforward, sort of execution.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not entirely sure on the story behind your base. Yeah, but I do like how it looked in the photos. Jeff, I don't know if you have anything you want to add there, man.
Yeah. So I would say it's like very well painted, and then like the weathering is very thoughtful. It's nice that you played with multiple poses. However, for this championship competition, we just wanted one single pose that you take photos from multiple angles of. So, unfortunately, you sent us multiple photos, but it's nice that you played around with it. So, yeah. Great.
Yeah, that was cool. Again, the enthusiasm is fun. I agree with what Jeff said. Your weathering is good. It's on the right track. And your photography here is on the right track. And I hope that I'm not being condescending when I say that, but I do like your photographs. I think they're quite fun. Sweet. And there's your turnarounds. Also, guys, just compositionally with this as well, just when you guys are composing things, try to consider things like big, medium, and small shapes, and consider how your subject is a contrast to the environment that it's in. In this case, I do feel like that is executed, but there's a lot of detail that's competing with a lot of detail in the front. So be careful with that, guys. Try to use big shapes to bring out your more detailed, interesting focal points, or your more interesting character moments out. In this case, you want to enhance the Gundam, not hide the Gundam. That said, let's move on to the next one. Paint me like one of your JDMs. This could have also been like if you believe in family, you'll believe a Gundam's the size of a GTR. This, I mean, like, so here's the thing with this build. Yeah, this is fun. And I think part of the magic of this build for me was, and also one of the hard parts about like scoring this build was I kept getting distracted by the car. Yeah, because I thought your car was executed very well. I dare say executed a little bit better than your Gundam. But I love the idea and the story, or at least the vibe that you're trying to go for here. Like you were like, I don't have a base, so I'm gonna make the GTR a base. Kind of thing. At least that's the feeling I got. But yeah, for the most part, I'm sorry about your rear view mirror there on the one side. I see it's gone missing, but that's not the end of the world. Yeah, cool one, man. Like decent, like you got a strong, decent paint job going on here. Interesting color choice. You stuck to a bit. You had a theme that you wanted to do here. I think you should definitely consider using some panel liners on your future builds. Maybe even coming back to this build and adding some panel liner just to enhance those details a bit. But yeah, great entry. Jeff, anything you want to say?
Yeah, so I would say, I can see, the builder had just lots of fun with this. Just to add to what you said as well, the details, it will be great to have some bit of panel lining or, just to enhance it. Then otherwise, in future, jump into open category because I can see your skill is you painted that car, so it's you can handle open category.
You can handle open category.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, I love that the concept is built off a meme. Green King turned. I think it's fair for me to say that I have absolutely no knowledge of this reference whatsoever. So I personally went into this sort of mostly ignoring the reference and just sort of seeing for what it is. Strong, bold colors are used for this. Very strong. I thought pretty strong photography. Interesting use of mood and atmosphere. Paint those hands next time, buddy.
But it is beginner category, so it's okay.
But it is a beginner category, exactly. So let's not. But some things I'd just like to really highlight. I love the glow in the shield, vents. That bright yellow, green, that kind of fluorescent glow there. That's very cool. I generally don't like the use of the color black on a model kit unless you sell it or can handle it well. In this case, I think it was a bold choice. I think for the most part you nailed it. Yeah, and it's an interesting base. I'm just sorry that the reference was lost on me a bit, but yeah, solid otherwise. Jeff, what do you want to add, man?
So I would say it's a very simple color scheme, paint scheme, but yeah, it's very well executed. I would just say in terms of execution, like with your detail painting, just certain tighter control, especially around the head, the gold paint around the head got a bit sometimes go out the line or kind of messed over or something. So I would say the detail painting, yeah, just what your control there. But otherwise, this is a very like strongly like attractive kit. Yeah, definitely.
Sweet. Grey Wolf said, should I be worried that didn't have much to say about my entry? No, not at all, Grey Wolf. We've got a lot of kits to cover, and we're trying to say as much as little as we can, actually. And also just a reminder that if you do want a one-on-one and you do want to know more about your kit, Jeff and I will be doing a one-on-one for this BuildOff Championship only.
Yeah.
Whereas in future, we'll discuss other options. But just so you know. Okay. So please don't feel like it's bad that we didn't talk about your stuff enough or whatever. We are just trying to get through everything here. Yeah, cool. That ends up being that's the last of the entry of the beginner entries.
Yeah.
Okay, now we get to the real big section. This is where Jeff and I now just Grey Wolf, if it makes you feel better, Jeff and I are gonna say very little about these because there's so many to go through.
Well, like pretty much a similar amount that we've talked about in the beginner.
Or less, actually. Because I mean, what is it? It's like 20 builds. The other, and also quickly, everybody, if you want to just take 2 seconds now, catch your breath. If you're feeling a bit of anxiety or whatever, that's fine. At least we're creating some quality entertainment here. The first thing I got to say here is, as we go into this, this goes without saying, every build here is exceptional. I was blown away. So let's do a countdown. So it's 10, 9.
Make sure you have your snacks ready,
8,
guys, if you didn't have snacks
7,
ready.
6,
or drinks.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Here we go. Size 12 Gundam.
Hey.
I am so scared of the name of this kit. Wow. Okay. So just right off the bat, I do want to say some cool approach to appreciating. I love the subtlety there. It definitely brings the forms out. This is a bigger than 1:100 scale kit from what I can tell.
Yeah, this is a 1:60.
Yeah. So I generally find when a kit is bigger, you do need to do a bit of that shading and stuff just to help enhance it a bit as well. What say you, man?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say, so I'm just get my notes in. So yeah, solid foundation on the painting with appreciating. I would say it's a shame that this with the base, it's just like a piece of paper. And also, we just wanted a single pose, but at least you played around with multiple poses. But yeah, we just wanted one pose just to tell a story. Yeah, but otherwise, I do see there's a bit of like damage to the fin. You did mention this is an older kit and it was broken already. I would say, that's actually a good opportunity for you to do like, battle damage storytelling with that,
Yeah. Just own that a little bit,
Yeah, own it.
But yeah, a pity we didn't have a base for this. I would have loved to have seen a completed version of this, or complete the look. But yeah, really love that shading. It's really got such a cool like vibe to it, and it really does enhance the scale and the form of what you've done here. So keep that up, builder. I think you've got lots. I think you're a skilled builder, and I think you ran out of time. Is what I think happened here. Because I can see that there's stuff here you wanted to do. Like I can feel that you wanted to do more.
There's solid foundation, yeah. But look, at least you like took photos and submitted your entry. You can always finish off later in future.
Yeah, just checking, passing a side glance to the chats. Yeah, guys, the entry level guys were sick. They were really awesome. I agree with you. Night Spec Retaliation. I'm sure a lot of you guys are getting this like feeling right now where you're like, whoa, that looks so cool, and rightfully so. This is very cool. Strong, striking color scheme. Clever use of LED here and there. Cool pose. Well, should I say the pose comes across well from the photography. And a very creative, or very straightforward diorama that I felt was probably one of the most realistic dioramas that we've seen in this competition in terms of its execution, or most believable in terms of its texturing, which I quite liked a lot. But you guys will see more as we go through. Definitely gets my I Love Evangelion award. And I'm sure the builder is going to get irritated when I say that, because I know what references were used, but it's very difficult for me to divorce myself from purple and green and not think of Evangelion. Jeff, what say you?
It's the Joker reference, isn't it? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So the speaking about the colors, that's a great combination to work together. The base and the kit is also another great combo that they told the story as a unified piece. It's a very solid base color scheme and painting, weathering, and detail painting. I would say can be refined a little bit more to enhance the snapshot of action that's taking place. And in terms of other details, like I saw there was, I think in a chest, the decal was like cracked or something. So if that's intention, like it didn't look intentional to me. If that's the case, like maybe just scrap it. Like if a decal tears, just chuck it away.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
my other advice.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. I was gonna say, yeah, Jeff, finish what you're saying, and then I just wanted to add to what you're saying with the decor there.
Then, I would say the weathering and the detail painting, I would say enhance it, but also not just on the kit, but also on the base itself as well. Because I can see you've had those grooves, so it's taking a kit and it's being dragged back. So there's physical lines on the floor. Maybe do a bit of dry brushing there, like white or like lighter color, just so you can see there's movement there. Like the more details that you put on certain things, the eyes gets drawn to those areas. So yeah, it's on the shield and on the ground. I would say that those are the movement parts. So,
yeah, I'm so glad you brought up the damage on the shield, because I like the execution. It's got a very illustrative style of execution. And guys, if ever a decal gets scratched or messed up on your kit, it is automatically a license to add some weathering or chipping to it. Okay, that is please always try to own that that little kind of a mishap. Sorry that we're like hyper focusing on that and not mentioning the cool detail that you have on the leg there.
We had to like
we had to. Yeah. But this is really pretty. This really is like a nice punch in your face kit. So guys, you see why this is difficult? Let's go to the next shots.
I would even say one final thing I want to add, like a big props to you, is that you actually swap the beam saber to a different color, like because originally the Ariel's got a blue beam saber, but because of the color scheme of your reference, it's all that green and neon green. You said, okay, change it up just to match with the rest of the color scheme. So that is also very like well thought of,
Just check something here. Interesting. Okay. No. I just wanted to make sure I was seeing correctly. Cool. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Full retaliation. Okay. I dig the ornate detailing on the armor. Initially, what I felt when I saw that was I initially thought you were going for demonic kind of possession kind of vibes with like runes and that kind of thing. And then a part of me felt that maybe you were going for like what's the word I'm looking for? Like there's a lot of guys doing that sort of fine china kind of look for some of their designs, But then I came back to the demon thing because of the base. So what I want to just say here is I actually do love your composition. I like having the funnels in the V. I thought having the pose the way it is very strong, and I thought your approach to the paint job was very brave. And that's an interesting take for the base because it does, like I said, it does give me a bit of a hell vibe, like almost like an old school Doom vibe. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. And Jeff?
Yeah, I would say like first of all, the pose is very solid. So with the funnels deployed as well, I would say it's a shame that the kit is not fully painted. So going up against with everybody else in the open category that has like painted their kit fully. Obviously scoring on the painting side is a bit lower compared to other guys. But yeah, otherwise it's very brave of what you've been doing. I can see that you just like experimenting, and that's like a big thing about this hobby, just having the guts to experiment, go out of your comfort zone, which you've done clearly.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next, because this was a very inspired. I thought like it was an inspired idea. Again, you can see the composition from different angles, guys, and I'm gonna say something now as well that I just something to take note of. We mentioned somebody's base in the entry side where we mentioned the choo-choo base was perhaps a bit too small. And then I also mentioned that the ground type Gundam's base was quite big and it made it suitable, or it made it work as like a bit of a set for photography. I do want to mention that sometimes guys try to keep the base smaller. Remember, it is only one kit on that base. And you do want to still keep it on your shelf and things like that. So always consider that when you're building as well. Try to think of how that kit can enhance your space, your personal space, or somebody else's personal space.
I would say consider the compositional balance of the whole entire piece together.
Yeah. So, but cool. Again, nice one. I'm loving what people are using for dioramas. It's very interesting, actually. Guys, right at the bat, this is my favorite. This wins the Paul Award for my favorite video game representation. In fact, had this been in our one of our previous competitions, yeah, I think this is amazing. Like I really love the concept here. Also because I really love Okami, the game. So if you guys don't know what Okami is, please go and play Okami. It's one of the greatest games made and one of the greatest oversights by a big company ever. But I love the story here, man, and I love that this is like such a great fan letter to Okami. Like this build for me says that I'm a Gundam fan, and I'm a fan of Okami, and I'm a fan of I nearly called it a Bawu, but I'm a fan of the doggy robots from Gundam Seed, the name of which completely escapes me right now. Baku. Yeah, Baku. Baku. I think. Yeah. Anyway, Baku. Yeah. Also, I like the storytell kind of presentation, and like I was saying in the earlier one, this build really considers keeping this in your home. This can enhance your living space. So yeah. Jeff, what do you want to say?
The size of a base, like when we talked about the previous builds, considering the size of a base, this is very considered. Like this is perfectly sized for what the kit is, and also the story it wants to tell. So everything works very well together. So I would say that's a very solid build. It's a very refreshing idea. Nice combination with the kit and the base to convey the story. And as a bonus, I want to say like the builder didn't kind of show it, but it was sent as reference images. So it was nice pre-production that was in development. Was there was the builder drafted like a operation report or something, or battle report saying, oh, they encountered this. I don't know if you saw, Paul. There was like a
I did.
Yeah, and there was there was like censoring out certain things, encountering this kind of thing or whatever. So it's like the builder has a lot of imagination to go off on when they created this piece. And one more like nod as a bonus is that it featured their Riva Nova.
Yes,
that was like entered for previous competition, but unfortunately, like their pet got to like
That's
their
how.
dog, yeah, their dog like chowed it up, which is quite fun to just bring it back as like a support character, like a Easter egg for this build. But just so
And that's
Kami's like
also.
a wolf and a dog, so it's like I don't know, something
I
to
would
play on board.
love. I would love to have this build sitting in the display case as well,
Hmm.
because I'm such a big Okami fan, and I think
I hope our
there's a
display
lot of
case
things.
can handle it. It's because I can
It's quite
imagine the
heavy with
weight
the
of it.
bonsai pot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do want to mention just to everybody, and we're going to jump out to the next one now. It's quite. I thought it was quite clever how you got 3-dimensional elements that, when you look at them from an angle, look like 2D elements, and I'm referring to the tree. And this is the kind of magic that the game does. I also thought it was very clever and inspiring, to me at least, with the blossoms, the lily blossoms, the lily pad blossoms, and the koi being like cutouts, like paper cutouts,
Mm.
and then being suspended in that resin. I
Yeah.
I like that because it also, again, it shows, guys, try and be interesting, like try and be
Mm.
clever and artistic with things,
Yeah.
and
And
you'll
also
see
with
what
the
happens. Yeah.
Okami Hardware as well that they created as well.
Yeah,
So it's like a
like
little sticker kind of thing, just to stick onto it, just to add a bit of like, subtle nuance. It's a fun thing.
yeah, it makes it a bit meta. That said, I do think we're gonna see that Haro from this builder. And it's got a Lego. There we go.
So
Baku.
what? Oh, the go, yeah.
Lego. Okay, so here we got the red Cyclops.
Mm.
So a bit of a 40K kind of vibe going on for it here. Yeah. So colors on the color has been
Mm.
like super dynamic here. Very interesting use of colors. I'm also appreciating some of the kind of miniature painting techniques that have been introduced in this build or used in this build. I also really like the scratch building, the horns coming out of the chest, the horns coming out of the head.
Mm.
The Sasabi has been chaosed in a big way. But then at the same time, it's a good, it's a cool kit bash because we got the legs, which are creating a bit more of a sort of that demonic kind of leg structure, which
Mm.
is great. It was very interesting. Again, simple base, but telling a story. Yeah. The only thing that I only have one question for the builder, and I'm hoping we can do this in a one-on-one. Why is there a yellow paper over the name badge? I'd love to know why
Well,
that's the case.
I think it's got the name of a builder on that
Ah,
top,
right.
so
Okay.
they don't want
Cool.
to reveal it for us. Yeah.
Okay. Now that's cool.
I would say, yeah, when you're asking about that paper thing, I think maybe in future consider just digitally blurring it out, like pixelating or blurring out your
Mm,
name, perhaps. Because, yeah, like, for you, Paul, like when you saw that, you were a bit unsure. So it's a bit
mm,
distracting to see that
mm.
in photo, yeah. So maybe just blurring it out in future, digitally, yeah.
Also, for this builder, going forward, just to help add an extra edge to your next build, it's great to see the scratch build. Oh, it's great to see some of the scratch building that you've done and kit bashing that you've done.
Mm, yeah.
I especially love the cables coming out of the out of the head, and I love what you did with putting the funnels in the arm and how you mix some elements around. I thought that was really cool. I would just say for competition builds, maybe just be a little bit more tight on your fixing of mold lines and things like that. That'll definitely give you an edge, more of an edge next time. And yeah, for the photos, maybe a bit of a longer shot would have been great, just to see a lot more of this. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of parts of this that are very interesting, but I'm not getting enough from your shots to really get the story, if that makes sense. What say you, Jeff, before I
Okay.
move on?
Yeah. Yeah. Shane. Yeah, so I would say it's very amazing, like eye-catching piece, with all the vibrant colors, all the details that you did, like and lots of like kit bashing, scratch building. That's like really amazing. It's I can see it's very courageous, applying so many different techniques and mediums together. You've got your cloth going on, maybe there's some resin, like or not resin, like some mold casting, where you like creating your own shapes for certain things. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's just a lot of like cool techniques being applied into this one build.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, one point that you could, as a way to improve, maybe to consider for future is like, instead of using cloth, would you? Because I think I've seen people use like cleaning tissue, or what you call it, like those sanitary
But that
paper,
stuff we can get
like,
into.
yeah, hand
I think
wipes.
that's
Yeah,
something we
maybe
can
you
get
can
on
try
onto
that.
one-on-ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of great heresy going on with this build. And then of course here's the reference.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, it's Magnus, and I can never remember the name of the actual. Yeah. Anyway, Magnus the Red. There we go. That's the name of this creature. Again, I think this is one of those builds that if you keep it in your home or whatever, it's going to help enhance your space, because I think it's outstanding. It's got a lot of power, and I really dig it. Again, I wonder, it would be cool to put this in a display case, but it looks like it might be too big. But damn, those wings, man. And I love those cables. They're so rad. Anyway, okay.
I'm sure they've
So
considered
clever.
the size.
Yeah, I hope so. Cool, man. Let's move on to the next one. Camel on the Moon. Yes. So as you guys know, I might be a bit of a Machine and Krieger fan, as much as I love Gundam as well. This build for me, it's like a good punch in the face. Not that getting punched in the face is ever good, but it was a nice punch to the face. Like, it hit me, and I was like, I know who this is. Unfortunately, this builder didn't have the shield of anonymity, which meant I really scrutinized the hell out of this build, dude. Just so you know, because I know you and I know how good you are, and I love this. This is like, for me, I thought this was very well composed, amazing base, great weathering, great paint job. In fact, the weathering is so cool because it's very subtle,
Yeah.
but it's a collection of subtlety that just gives it that sheen. And yeah, just a creative use of textures, beautiful build. And kudos to the builder for choosing this as a canvas for this, because Machine and Krieger kits do provide a great canvas to build on. Not more or less so than a Gundam kit, but just this definitely has an impact for not being a Gundam kit. And so yeah, Jeff, I've said all the things I want to say about this, so you take it away.
So when you said like composition, I would say like, yeah, composition of not just the photos, but also composition of every single element that you used on this piece. So like, first off, your main kit, it's like really well executed. Then you've got the supporting kit, supporting actor kit, that was like also like on the same level like of execution. But when we move on to the base has like a lot of story to tell as well. Like, it's the moon, like it was space surface,
Yeah,
and
lunar
also like
surface or something.
lunar surface, and then there's like a spaceship kind of platform where these guys are coming off the platform onto the planet. So like, just with that, it's like, they're going into having an adventure exploring. So there's like, it's like it's showing what's happening now, but also like, leaves the it stimulates the viewer's imagination of what's going to happen next. So and also like just the attention to every single bit of detail is like, it's very masterfully and thoughtfully executed. Like, I don't know if you guys can see the details, but like for us, when we zoomed in, it's like every single bit of like weathering, it's like it's very well thought of. And for the pilot as well, it's also very well painted. So there's so many different type of like mediums. Is it like there's hard surface stuff? There's like the organic surface of the figures, the pilots. Just every single level is very well painted. Yeah.
Yeah, and like again, the story was cool for me. I liked what was going on here with like yeah. I there's two things that I think just I would just I this is actually not aimed at this builder. It's actually something I noticed on the diorama that I built for MSI, for example. Um, the brass rod that you use for suspending your dude, I don't think it's too much effort for you to paint it black. And I think that will actually help you a lot. It will definitely make people, when people come over to your house, and I hope that you display this in your home. And I'm speaking to everybody here. I hope that you are enhancing your living space with these builds, because these are all great talking pieces. And yeah, I think with that brass rod, I don't know how many people actually even see it, to be honest, but I just found that for me, like it's something I learned
Paint it
recently,
black
like
just
paint the
to
brass rod black, yeah, because if you have it on a dark background, it really will make it look like it's floating. It's not even a critique. It's just like
it's
that's
just
some
like a
like an
minor thing
idea.
for everybody, you know. It's not just for you.
This is such a cool base. Like again, it's what I loved about the choo choo base. It's very subtle. It's subtle, but it's detailed enough to, and it's a great frame. Anyway, guys, that's all I want to say about that, which is already more than we have time for. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, Paul's gonna drop in here again now with Paul's award for favorite buildings in the championship. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that very few of you actually did buildings, and I was kind of secretly hoping to see more because I wanted to see how you guys would do it. Yeah, this is kind of a classic scene that you see in a lot of Gundam anime. Well, actually, not as many as you think. But this is kind of a great classic moment. You got a giant mech in a city doing the worst kind of mission in a video game, which is convoys, especially on stuff that you're scared you're going to step on. So I'm definitely feeling this guy's tension and stress. Yeah, I think there's some cool stuff happening here. Again, I think the diorama is very well sort of kept together. There's some great stuff happening with like the broken concrete to show the weight of the mobile suit, which is awesome as well. Cool color scheme, cool, like interesting, like, well, I like the weathering in the sense that I like how it's executed, like how you've done it. It doesn't stand out as being like paint strokes, if that makes sense. It's very believable. I would love to know where you got those three little karikis, like the two little buggies and the truck. They look really familiar to me for some reason. But yeah, that was fun.
From like another
This
model.
is this is also one of those cool. Just it's a cool representation, and I think a lot of people will see this and be like, "Wow, this is awesome." So, what do you say, Jay?
Yeah, so I would say it's very well painted. You know, good work on the base. You know, with all the set dressings. You know, to really tell a story. I would say consider the thickness of the lines on the road. I suppose maybe a bit thinner, just to just to make it
Enhance
less
that scale.
toyetic like. Yeah, but otherwise, you know,
Mm.
it's a very solid piece. Yeah,
Mm.
well done.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's a goodie. Like, nice one. Seriously. Yeah, so this is fun. Cool colors as well. Like, using the orange as an accent, as an accent. Hate to sound like a client now, but it really pops.
Yeah.
um,
One thing though is because now we're on the slide is actually this builder didn't provide references, so that's a bit of a shame, you know. But obviously, look, you do have ideas in your head of what you want to execute, but it will just be nice for us as judges just to see, you know, what you're trying to aim for, you know. So references will be helpful for your own case. Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, cool one.
Nice.
Nice. The Golden Gog. So this made me think of that movie. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's basically the one where the kid he's a journalist and he ends up being in a band. I can't. It's the first time we see what's Kate Hudson, Kurt Russell's daughter.
Okay.
Cool film. Can't believe I've forgotten the name. Follows the fictional band.
Almost Famous, is it? Or
That's the one.
that
There we go. Almost
because
Famous.
I haven't watched the movie, but he typed it in his reference. So yeah,
Dude.
I mean not reference, in his concept. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to talk about like a brave build? This is a crazy brave build. I mean, this builder was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try something crazy. Competition's a great excuse to do it. Let me go for it. Yeah, and they gold leafed it, and I think everything about its execution is actually really clever and very smart, very minimalist. I love that you've got horns going as well. Yeah. It's cool that you have it there with your rewards as well. It sells as a trophy. It speaks as a trophy, but it's got this like 1970s kind of vibe to its photography that I really appreciated on this. Yeah. What say you, Jeff?
Yeah, I would say yeah. So it's a very unique piece. Looks very convincing with the paint job and the finish. That looks like an age trophy. That's been like it's got history. It's got story to tell. It's been passed around for quite a bit. But yeah, so it's very brave. So one like little details I would say is the joint. There's a bit of exposed joint by the wrist where it didn't get covered by the green leaf, so that kind of broke the illusion a little bit. And also just in the armpit as well. But obviously it's very hard to like reach in there. But I would say it's those minor things. And otherwise your photography, with the presentation, like I think you deliberately like you knew the rules. Like, okay, we want you to take photos on the black backdrop, but I think you deliberately, say, okay, I know about the rules, but you wanted to do different settings, just kind of match the movie, I suppose, because in your references you did show screenshots on the movie, so yeah, we do see what you're trying to aim for. But yeah, that's very cool. It just shows that you had a lot of fun with this creation.
And again, if like the idea of using gold leaf, challenging, but it's a cool thing and something like a lot of car model builders do and a lot of aircraft modelers do. They use a lot of like gold leaf. Another great technique is to take like the sweetie wrappers from something like Quality Street and use the foil and kind of burnish the foil onto certain shapes, which is what you do with gold leaf, is you burnish it on. So yeah. I swear the band in this movie's name was Stonewater or something like that. Somebody let me know in the chats. I remember watching this film. I went to the premiere actually, so it's kind of like it's in there.
Okay.
Wow, 2000, huh? Long ago. Cool film. Really cool film. Very rock and roll. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Strelitzia Siren. What a fun concept. What a like, for me at least, what a lovely like homegrown South African kind of concept. To kind of make this character. Yeah, I thought that was very clever. And awesome paint execution. Your shots were fun, keeping it out there. But yeah, I want to hear what Jeff has to say.
Yeah, so I would say it's this piece. It's really like classy and like beautiful piece of as a decoration in your home that you can like display proudly. Just masterfully executed, refined, and also just matches your like your paint scheme and where you painted on the body parts. It matches with your reference inspiration, the flower. Like the blue legs just matches with you'll see like in the flower. It's got that blue spiky bit and just matches up so well. So yeah,
The bird of prey. Yeah, I love unique designs like this. I think it's very clever, and also this kind of design. And please, this is a compliment. This is like if you wanted to give a significant other like a cool kit or something that maybe only you could do, and maybe they're not necessarily into mecha and stuff. I feel like this makes for like a beautiful gift and quite a thoughtful way of doing it, especially for somebody who loves flowers, but flowers die. So it's a cool way to kind of keep that there. So I like that. I thought it was a fun concept.
Yeah.
Romantic
And
in me did anyway.
I think
Yeah.
this is also a great kit to just give a shout out to everybody. Like, even though our focus is Gunpla, it is an open category. So it's really awesome that lots of people just diversified, the kind of entries that we got. We've got Machine and Kruger, we've got like waifu kits and all sorts, Yeah, that's really awesome.
Okay.
Different subjects.
Boom.
Yo,
Absolute favorite
big
use of
yoga.
smoke in this competition award goes to this. Actually, no, I'm being cute there, but actually, I'm trying to remember the name of the artist right now, but there's a whole series of this kind of mobile suit that is out there. There's like Sasabi and all of that done. I can't think of the name.
Like
When I get the name, I'm going to give it that award. What all? Yeah, I mean, I think it's meant to be Koji Kondo. I just need to double check.
That's pretty that because his name in there says version Kondo. So.
Version Kondo, right? I absolutely love this build as well. Like, just like how the camel punched me in the face, this also punched me in the face. Because I like the like, let's try something different. Like again, you tried something crazy with using the putty and stuff like that to create these rounded forms, which is very like sort of reminiscent of Kondo's art style. And you did the Zimmerit on it, and I really like this.
Wardo, like old school Wardo.
Yeah, and I just thought this was so. I just really think this is really cool. And you've kind of got me wanting to like. It's weird. Like I've also been considering doing something like this, and then now that you've done this builder, I'm also like, yeah, I really got to get myself some good putty for this kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
I also
expect me
want
to
to do
ask
that
you some questions.
Textures.
Zimmerit is one thing, but I just love the roundedness and the sort of medieval spying of the actual mobile suit. But yeah, exactly, Jeff. I mean, I'm just as excited. I really want to do more on this.
Yeah. So
what do you want to say, man? Because I think I've gushed all over this thing.
Yeah. So for me, it's the execution is you pulled off the retro feel of your source material. Everything's like rounded off, and it's got that very retro vibe to it. Very well made piece conveying the reference material. That's what you said. Sorry, I'm just reading.
Yeah.
I'm like talking and I'm reading my notes. So one thing I would say is maybe the smoke is to like I would say less is more, because then if you do less smoke, it's more impactful. I would say.
Yeah. I mean, that's always a trick. In fact, somebody in the chat's caught this, and it's something that I was hoping you would also pick up on it or say something about it. And I know that we want to be careful, but I do feel that the Gatling guns, or the guns, actually should have had a similar level of weathering to them that the armor did. Not because I think, oh my word, everything needs to be weathered, but it's just to create a little bit of harmony between the two, just a linking factor. So that's something that also you can still do this to this kit. You can still do a little bit of weathering and stuff to the Gatling guns to make it complete and perfect in your home. I really love this. I really hope I get to see this kit in person. So yeah.
Speaking about the Gatling gun, there's something that you could consider is even like do that whole heated up effect, so it looks like it's like freshly used.
Okay.
Yeah, well done. This is a really awesome piece.
Yeah, really awesome build. Got such a magazine cover vibe to it. Anyway, moving on to the next one. I just wanted you guys to check out the turnarounds. But here we go. Here's the Katsuhisa Kondo. There we go. That's the I said Koji Kondo. But yeah, Kazuhisa. So yeah, guys, I just wanted you to see the back of this. bad boy as well. You know, it's very small. You're gonna have to like really, because I don't want to like mess up my slideshow here by zooming in and then accidentally showing you the winners or something. So yeah, this kid's such a winner.
Guys,
I really want.
we will post these images on our Discord
Of course.
later, so you guys can take a closer look. But yeah, you know, you can see that the builder obviously has like used the references and studied it, you know?
Yeah. Cool. I am justice. Yeah, it's very
Okay.
like yeah. What? Cool like approach. I mean, like justice is great design. So doing the like executing justice well, and just adding a few like little novel tweaks here and there in the form of the golds, I thought was fun. Again, very brave base with the ocean and stuff. Jeff, what do you want to add, man?
Yeah. So yeah, like very well posed with the ocean base. Um, and obviously nice touch-ups on detail painting. So speaking about painting, like it is unfortunate that this whole kit wasn't fully painted. So again, scoring wise, it didn't score as high, but where you painted, you know, those are nice touches, you know. Yeah, so keep going. And yeah, speaking about where you painted, so like you've done some painting on the inner frame of the exposed legs. So that's a nice touch as well. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, dude.
And that base is tricky, man. Like getting water right is tricky. Okay, next one. There was something in the chat that I just want to acknowledge quickly. Vortlki says, sorry, I completely butchered the pronunciation of that. I haven't said that word in forever. Any chance of having access to our scorecards to see where we can improve in the future? Yes, we generally do that upon request in the Discord. You can just message Jeff.
Yeah, you can either DM either of us and we can like give you a score breakdown.
Make a plan for it. And as I said, we are happy to do some one-on-one sessions with you guys. At least like there'll be like 10-minute sessions. You can just talk about some stuff. You can ask us some stuff. Please don't use it as a session to like shout at us because you know you didn't feel that your kit was good enough, because I will literally just end the call. Because I really do want to but I do want to see you be the best you can be, obviously. And yeah, it's just something that we would like to do for you guys, because a lot of you guys have done amazing stuff here, and there's even questions I want to ask you about how you guys pulled off some stuff too. So it's like it serves me as well to do it. Yes, so this makes me happy because this builder was like, oh, we're gonna make this like really crazy looking thing. And yeah, you basically did what I feel 30-minute sisters kits were made for. Basically human bodies to slap like cool mechanical attachments to. And so I'm all there with you, Guy, or whoever bought this. Yeah, I enjoyed this conceptually. I thought this was great. Also, actually, really love your weathering. Like I thought your weathering was very well executed. Cool color for the base being blue to enhance the grays and the blacks of the actual build, and then having the redness of the skin tone, which also served as a focal point. Yeah. I dig this kind of thing. It reminds me a lot of old school abstract anime art. Like again, I know that the references used here were cyberpunk, but that is exactly what I was thinking when I saw this. Jeff, what are you going to tell us?
Cool. So before my point, before my note, I would say, watch out for typos, guys, because
corporate responsibility.
Yeah, because we just copy and paste from what you submit. So I should have had a better look, but in future, double check yourself when you send your stuff through. But okay. So on to my actual note. So it's a very impressive kit bash. I love this kit bash of the combination of the 30 minutes, like the human aspect of it, melding together with very robotic of the 30-minute missions kits. So it's a very impressive kit bash. I would love to see some detail painting with like accent color, just to pop it, you know, because obviously, you know, we've got the flesh tones as like a pop. But I would like as a secondary kind of focal point probably is the flesh tones, but just having some nuances of maybe like reds, of like lights or something kind of thing, just to add a secondary level of focal point. Yeah, because also I looked at your reference material, like there was like missiles, canisters or something, and the missiles were like gold or something, just as an accent pop. So I would love to see something like that as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, builder, I can see you're already quite an experienced builder based on how you executed the base and how you've executed your weathering. Can I suggest maybe just trying this out at home, where you have the base, instead of it being on the floor, you have it behind your character and use it as kind of a backdrop for your character, and almost imagine if it was suspended on a wall. I think that will also do something really cool too, to kind of give the feel of this character floating over the sort of surface, and like an anti-gravity way. Anyway, I'm saying that not because I think there's something wrong, just because seeing what you've done here has inspired that kind of thinking, and it's quite cool. Yeah, but I second what Jeff said. Some panel lining, a little bit of a wash here and there would have helped to accentuate some of your details. Some accent colors would have been the way to go. But yeah, what you got here is great. And I actually thought your typo was intentional, by the way. I thought you were being ironic. Yeah, I thought you were. Because every time I read it, I kept reading it as corporate, and I was like, wait, hold on. So, cool. And you got a whole story here. It's rad. Yeah, that's the other thing. I looked at this and I was like, what's the story behind this? And that is enough for me. I'm like, there's a story here. Bad time in the forest. I know what that's like, dude. You're in a hiking group. You really need the loo. No, I'm kidding. Yay! It's gun cannon. Gun cannon getting some love here. Lush diorama, fun money shots. Really like this money shots. Gun cannon is in for some serious trouble. And yeah, it's fun. I liked your lighting. I like the story here. I definitely feel the terror of what's going on. When I say the terror, the urgency here. But I also want to hear what Jeff has to say.
Yeah, so I would say nice paint job on the kit. More refinement on the base will be great, just to tie it together. But yeah, it is a very strong piece. You've got like a rocket hitting right next to it. So yeah, there's a sense of like, oh shit, kind of feeling. It's a shame though, like some of your photos, they were a bit blurry. So I would say a good point is that goes to everybody. Just like review your photos and check, and just reshoot if you have to before you send the photos off to us.
Yeah. Also, just some kudos to the weathering. You guys will see it in the next slide. I see what you were trying to achieve here from the reference, and I felt that you're definitely getting it. You're definitely getting some of that execution and stuff, and I'm excited to see what happens with your next kit. I'm sorry if that sounds like a trivial thing to say, but I am. I think there's great stuff that's coming here. I think with your weathering, I can see it's coming. Yeah. It's coming along.
Yeah, so I think while we're on the shot, you can see like, so the base is like a lot of a brown is like the same brown. So I would consider, looking at some references of ground, it's like, by the river, it might be a bit darker from the wetness, and then like on dry land where it's elevated, it might be drier. So like the soil will actually be more like lighter in color, that kind of thing. So yeah, look at some references.
All good.
Otherwise, nicely composed.
Sweet. And here we go. Rust bucket. Yeah. Lots of great texture. And you managed to pull off this texture without should I say ruining too many of the details of the kit, because that's always the trick with this kind of wrought iron or cast iron texturing. Yeah, I think to try and get that sort of worn paint feel that you're trying to get, just maybe next time just practice this technique just a little bit more on a spoon, because I think you're so close to getting it right. And I see, yeah, and like otherwise simple. Also, if I may just say this, you've called this character Rust Bucket, but I'm not seeing much rust. So that was the one thing for me. So I thought maybe you're being a little bit ironic, but it's cute, and I like what you used as the base. I love that little base. I think it's a cool little holder. I might bug you and ask you what that is. I can't decide if it's a coffee lid or what, but I think it's very clever and it's got a very nice language to it. Anyway, Jeff, what do you want to say, man?
For this piece, like when I read the concept, it's trying to find a place to rest kind of thing. So with your shot, you actually provided multiple photos of different poses. So I'll just say stick to the one where he's sitting on a log. That would have sold the idea and that snap. Because remember, like these competitions, like we want one single snapshot, one single frame just to tell a story. So just having one of sitting on a log would have been much stronger. And yeah, I would say add a bit of consider a bit of weathering that will enhance the story, and maybe a bit of a focal point. So consider the eyes. Like generally, when we look at um, like objects or human beings, we're drawn to. Generally, it's the head that we're drawn to, and that goes for like mechanical beings as well. The head is generally the dominant thing that we like to focus to. So you've got your little glass pieces of the eyes. Maybe like you can consider painting it red or something, like a very contrasting color to the rest of the piece, so that our eyes get drawn to it. Yeah. So yeah.
The
Otherwise,
cool
it's a very nicely executed the surface detail texture. Yeah, that was nicely executed.
Totally, and you can still even take this a little bit further if you wanted to as well. Yeah, you've already done so much here. Okay. Let's see, these references are cute. Cool. Sweet. Okay. And the fallen white angel, very classic, like kind of when I say classic, this is the type of diorama I know in like the later parts of the early 2000s. There was a winner, I think, for Orozaku, or at least a podium placement for Orozaku that had a Gundam that was also sort of decaying under a waterfall, and it used a lot of red shrubbery and whatever's to enhance the sort of funeral feel of it. It was beautifully done. I feel that this image was very heavily inspired by that kind of concept. Even if you've never seen the original, it was a very powerful concept. So when I saw this, I did have a bit of nostalgia for that, and I was like, okay, cool. I like the colors and stuff that you used, and I like the story. Like, there's like a vibe to this that I really, really appreciate quite a lot. I just, I just think the one or two, like, just careful with composition. I know that in this case the Gundam is meant to be the most important thing. The red trees do distract from that a little bit. So what you maybe want to do, maybe you can even still do it to the style if you want to. But sometimes if you guys think about it, you can actually use bright colors as your framing and a dull color as your focal point. And so I feel like you're like I think you're 3/4 of the way there, with that conceptually. But yes, I like this. I like the vibe that I get from it. Like it's difficult to put my finger on it exactly. I just like the feeling I got from this. But yeah, Jeff, I can hear you want to tell us.
Yeah. So I love this idea. It's got a very serene, like peaceful feeling to it. Just letting the old warrior rest kind of thing. But yeah, it's a very nice idea. I can feel the builder is very brave. With all the different executing different techniques together. It's just a bit harder to see certain aspects from a paint job. And also the composition, like you mentioned. For me, it felt like the composition is a bit quite busy to like the left side, where the waterfall, the tree, and the Gundam are all very close together, fighting for attention. And for like the other right side, it's just rock and a bit of a shield. So I would say, consider the space of that you're playing with, and maybe just separating things, giving like each element a bit of a breathing space on its own kind of thing. And I would say that in terms of painting wise, like you've got this moss kind of feeling. Like, obviously there's a bit of moisture, being so close to water and waterfall. There will be a bit of not rust, moss developing. And I would say the part that you want to play around with is maybe consider, where the pot has submerged under the water, have more, is it moss? I think it's moss, right?
No, algae,
Underwater.
moss,
Yeah,
green
algae, yeah. Where there's
water
green,
plants.
like, yeah. So like by I think one of a foot is submerged in the water. So like, uh, so have algae like developing there, and also the shield where the bottom of the shield is submerged in water, have a bit of green algae there as well. Yeah, just to really sell the idea.
But yeah, also, as I move to the next one, kudos for having a vertical base, a base that is tall.
Yeah.
I love verticality, and I think you were very brave. Not just brave, but I was actually expecting to see more vertical style basing, and more vertical style like sort of dioramas. And so yeah, dig it. I'm a fan
Yeah.
of that as well. So
Actually,
cool.
looking at the like four. Oh, sorry. The turnarounds. I've seen quite a lot of like people who want to do dioramas is that on the sides they actually paint it black, just so
Yeah.
that people know that whatever's black is like it's being cut off, it's like a profile, it's
Yeah.
being cross sectioned, So maybe consider for the back of your diorama. Like, I know there's not much to see from that side, but even still, maybe you can consider painting it black, and even on the sides of the rocks, the cliffs, you can paint it black as well. Yeah, just so that we know, okay, it's being like a cross section.
But yeah, from a distance, look at it. Oh, it's got a cool
Yeah.
vibe, definitely. Cool. Okay, the very obviously cyberpunk inspired build. Yaiba. Okay, so just want to jump in here quickly. I love the Common Rider flying kick pose that's going on here. I really like that a lot. It's cool photography going on here. It's a cool dynamic shot. A little bit of a like Shem. He doesn't have, or the builder doesn't have a base or anything, but they at least use an action base at one point. And I understand sometimes that happens, whatever's, but yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on with the design here. The white sort of belly section, the red is a fun choice. Kept it simple, kept it strong. I think Builder maybe just use a little bit of panel lining and stuff just to bring those details out. We got so much red. The panel liner will just help to bring the details out a bit more. And that's all I really want to say about that. It's clean and executed well. It's one of those, it's something simple, done well, and it's strong. And I think this builder has definitely hit this point where, well, not hit this point, but can do painting well. Like can paint. And this looks hand painted as well, which is also like it's impressive. So nicely done, really. Like cool one. Jeff, is there anything else you wanted to add to this?
Yeah, so I would say good foundation on the paint job that you've done. But I would love to see some panel lining painted as well. And also, what Paul has mentioned, unfortunately, there's no base. And also, you provided multiple poses instead of just one.
Yeah.
So from what I can see, it's probably just time management. Like you spend a lot of time doing the base coat painting, and the other stuff that were just like just didn't have enough time. I would say if we were to do another competition like or the next championship where we were involving the base, I would say don't leave the base for much later. Like the base is also, it's quite important. I wouldn't say it's as important as your kit. It's not. It's a supporting role, right? But your base will provide context. So even before you get into painting your kit, or even before you sand your nub marks and stuff, just start developing your base already. So at least you won't just leave it as like a hindsight after you've completed your painting of your kit.
Yeah. And another build that you can be proud of. Like the nice one, Builder. Like I've been wanting to see the aerial in red anyway, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope, after this competition is over, just go back to this piece and just, add the panel lining or build a base if you want to and all that, it would be really cool. Yeah.
IMP or imp. Okay. Don't want to get into it too much here. I'm sure you guys can see it. Just some stuff to remark on that I think is really totally worth remarking is firstly the face being redesigned like the way it is. It completely changes the character and the personality of the mech. I thought that was very smart. Also, see the use of like styrene sheets on this build. For example, like it's cool to see that. Like, guys, I know a lot of us are like infatuated with watching these great things online. We see all these cool panel lines being cut, and we see all this fancy stuff being done. But there is a power that comes from using styrene and using it in a way, and this builder has executed that quite well, in my opinion. I shouldn't even say in my opinion, I'm saying it anyway, but I just thought that was very well executed because it's not trying to be like a super slick representation of a mecha. It's trying to be a dramatic moment featuring mecha. And so it's got this kind of look to it. Hello, Skittles. No, you can't go out that window. No, sorry. And also just some basic kit bashing stuff, like having the funnels in the shield. And, this build is completely transformed it. I'm sorry that we don't have more shots of the builder's diorama because, and we will see them in the next page as well. But there's some very cool things happening here.
Like variation.
If you're going to do a flat diorama, this is like the opposite, right? So we've seen a lot of like man-made structures with the dioramas. This is a more natural type of thing, and so we're finding a natural diorama with lots of texture and stuff going up and down. Hold on, my cat really wants to get out and do its thing. So Jeff, you say what you need to say, man.
Yeah. So this is another piece that's like masterfully like executed. And it's such a powerful scene, where these two mechs are battling. Well, the one's getting like murdered probably, but yeah, it's got a very strong focal point defined. The funnel being red and then the energy being green. It's like high contrasting colors there, so your eyes get like immediately drawn to it. And then those beam effects, electric effects.
Yeah,
again, that's also very, very cool. So yeah, all around it's like very well painted and it's like stylish painting. Obviously, you can see like this painter's got a very miniature background, and also the weathering. Like the weathering is very subtle and it's very controlled. So it's like by like the shin or the skirt, there's a bit of like
knee.
chipping or
the knee.
So it's very, very well executed.
Yeah, this is again, guys, this is just showing you once again, you don't have to paint. I mean, there's nothing wrong with how you paint Gunpla. Paint Gunpla or mecha however you want to, but just remember that there is something like you don't have to paint it one way to be a cool kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be cool with how you're doing it. And this builder does. They do own this. And if you guys take a second here, I felt this was very impressive. If you look in the money shots here on the right, there's a lot of shots. There's a lot of story that can be told off one diorama. And look at how things are framed. I mean, look. So here we go quickly.
The object source lighting from the like particle effects. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. So the OSL is very, very good. Again, like look at this. Look at the story that can be told just from this main shot, this little money shot here, this little money shot here in the bottom right. Impressive. And then look at the diorama. Okay. And okay. So like that's clever. That means that this person really thought about how they wanted to shoot it. They definitely thought about like what's the experience they want to give you, the viewer, the person experiencing the sport. So yeah, it's stunning. I wish they weren't as big a fan of Necrons as they are, but hey, we can't all be perfect. We can't all serve Papa Nurgle, but you know, I kid it's just a bit of 40k humor, or is it humor? I don't know.
Yeah. So I think looking at
yeah.
this turnaround, I feel this builder probably sketched like the plan on paper first. So I don't know how many other builders like were actually. I don't know if this builder has sketched a plan from different angles how to be viewed, but it feels like he has done some like sketching, planning, pre-production planning. So I hope like other guys out there, or even ourselves, will do a bit of sketching when we do these kind of plannings. You know.
Well, I think everybody should sketch when you do stuff. It's the biggest flaw with a lot of designers these days is they go straight on computer without like sketching and conceptualizing ideas. Anyway, moving right along, not to sound like an old designer. Okay, so Boulder, please don't reveal yourself yet in the chat. But am I supposed to be reading this as Cyber City or Cyber Kitty? Because it kind of feels
Cyber
like
City.
both. It's like you're Hideo Kojima-ing this by giving us like made up words. Okay. And secondly, Boulder, this gets my my award for the most cyberpunk build in this championship. Wow. Firstly, it's a waifu, so I mean it's amazing that I enjoy it. No, I'm joking. This is so cool. Like it's just really clever. I love the like very strong anime feel to it, very strong cyberpunk feel to it. I like the slice of life, and I think the photography is like super cool. It's super fun. Yeah, this is, and it's a great collection of model building techniques here. You know, the blending in the hair, the sort of like almost dry brushy kind of feel for some things, but then all the bright colors. Kudos, like high five. I really want to see this in person, and it really does get my most cyberpunk award. Guys, please remind me what the awards I'm giving out are later on when we chat, just so that I can do it properly. Like so, because I'm just throwing out these like fun awards. But yeah, Jeff, I'm dying to hear what you thought of this because I feel like this is something that you would resonate with.
Like I love the photos for these money shots kind of thing. It's such an incredible scene. You know, it's been created with a strong execution on the kit and the base together, telling a like very interesting story. So if you go like these shots, they don't you can't really see like better. So let's go to the next slide. Yeah, there we go.
That's it. Look how simple this is and what you can do with it. Anyway,
bar
carry on,
area
Jeff.
or like just having a bit of food before they go on to their next hunt or something like that. But you know, there's little skulls of monsters on like the poles and stuff, and like I love that this restaurant, whatever eatery, whatever thing, it's the poles are made out of runners, and it's like because the builder has kept the number tags on them, so like it's very deliberate. Like first is like do I want to see those number tags because it takes me out of the it's like, oh wait, it's just a bunch of runners. But I think it's very deliberate from the builder saying just to show people saying you can build cool things by using runners.
What's your runners?
You can upcycle. It's very inspiring to see that kind of.
That's a cool take on that, Jeff.
Yeah.
I must admit I don't love seeing the tabs. Although I do agree it's an intentional thing. I don't think this is a mistake. It's a personal preference. I don't like seeing that. But now that you've said what you said, you completely converted me to like, oh, actually, that's okay. That's actually very clever. Guys,
to inspire other people to use other things, that they have already, around them.
Yeah, so again, and also mixed media, man. There's soft goods going on here. It's
like fabrics and all that.
I'm dying to see this in person, and I admire the use of this cool photography trick of using an image as the background and then completely blurring the hell out of it, giving that focus depth or that depth of field look. Awesome. Yeah. So nice one, Builder. I can't say anything like negative about your kit. I mean, if I have to really split hairs, I think I saw a mold line somewhere on a. Oh yeah, there's a mold line on the
there's
forearm.
a seam line on the So I can see also the flesh is not painted. But yeah, so that's a bit unfortunate there. But yeah, it would have been great if you painted this entire kit as well. But yeah.
But I get it; it's a judgment call.
Really,
You know, do you risk
really well made.
the flesh paint chipping and then having the plastic underneath it come out and ruining the overall look? I get it. And by the way, I'm just pointing out that mold line because, you know, I always feel a bit bad if I talk about something and, you know, like, how do I put it, with the reverence that I'm giving it. You know, it's like I feel like, what am I missing? You know. So I like it though. It actually makes it more human for me. But competitions are competitions. Anyway, next one. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah. AWS GXX03.
Gundam Vidal. Mostly speechless on this build as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it to you to say some things.
Cool.
I just, all I want to say is that probably the award for me for most unique diorama approach.
Yeah, where it's like, you know, on the side and not from the bottom.
Yeah. And also smashing through, like, holy shit. This is impressive. But yeah, Jeff, you take it away, because I'm just going to sit here and be like, no, that's amazing.
For me, this is like such an explosive piece of work. You know, it's got a very high energy there. You know, it looks like it's also the paint job, the execution. It's like, it almost looks like it's straight out of the anime. You know, it's got a like kind of. It's not supposed to look realistic. It's the vibrant colors and the panel lining. The panel lining's all with black, so it's supposed to look like it's out of the anime or something. And just it's creating kind of a parallel universe, right? Because like this is supposed to be like the bridge or something between the upgrades between Vidal and Kima's Vidal kind of thing. So yeah, it's nice that the builder has, like, you know, thought about this imaginary scenario in his head and just pulled off this, you know, yeah, it's so eye popping, and it's like this is like one piece. It's like when you put it out there, it's a great example for a championship. Now going into like the details now, I would say areas that could have worked on is certain details and surfaces and edges felt a bit rounded when I looked really close. It could be a combination of like sanding or thick paint job or something. I'm not sure. Like when I looked at the V fins or certain like the skirts, just the edges, it felt like they were getting rounded off a little bit. So I'm not sure what was happening there. And also, what was clashing for me a little bit was there was usage of metal parts like the thrusters and also the fins. Was it heat sinks? What do you call it? Like heat sinks fins of photo etch. Because they weren't they were unpainted, it felt a bit clashing for the rest of the execution on the piece. You know, like they were very sharp. So yeah, it felt a bit like just taking me out of the cohesion of the, you know, unit of the piece. Yeah. But otherwise, it's a very impressive piece that you built.
I just saw this little like seam line here, and I'm just like, it just lost so many points. Now, I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. I'm completely joking, guys. This build blows my mind. In fact, the award that it should get is most creative use of cotton wool. Because I was expecting to see a lot of stuff, and I was not expecting to see this. And this is like, well, put it this way, I've seen a lot of stuff in this whole competition that has blown me the heck away. This is just so cool. Yeah, it is really, really cool. Now, I differ from Jeff when it comes to the metal parts. I also personally don't like metal parts being raw chrome on a build. But there is precedent for it because a lot of people do it. I personally think they work very well with this. And again, that's the beauty of us judging, right? We approach it from two different sides. We have different things that matter to us, but execution is stunning. I'm not going to say anything else. I think there's a lot of greatness here. You guys, you can see it. What else do I need to say? I don't even know who this is yet, to be honest with you. Pardon me. Okay, next one. Sun Wukong, Monkey King. So, yeah, this is obviously, like, I feel like something that's cool about this build again is just that Sun Wukong is kind of in the sort of pop culture mindset. It's in the current gaming zeitgeist, so to speak. So it's cool to see a very cool character, and very cool. Like, when I say this, please, I say this with all the respect that I mean from here, is like from the folklore, from the mythology of it. I love that we're getting that, and I love that we're seeing more of this, and it's awesome. It's a cool approach. And I think this base is very clever. Having the flying the cloud base. Yeah, it's very clever.
There's a bit of light
Jeff,
through it. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and it's very clever. It doesn't get my most insane use of cotton wool in this award, because the previous one got that. So I'm sure you understand, dear builder, but that does not diminish what you've done here. Very cool.
Yeah,
Jeff, take it away.
So I would say,
Not
like,
it's
a very iconic display and reference. Obviously, it's tying to what's a Wukong Black Myth. However, like, that being your reference material, I would have liked to see more range of colors used, because if we look at Wukong in that game, is that there are more colors involved. Not just like this dominant black. There's actually like subtle muted blues and reds. Like the threads are red, that kind of thing. So I would have loved to see more diverse color range, and also, if you look at the execution on the staff, like with the dry brushing or that kind of thing, it's like there's a lot of higher detail fidelity on the paint jobs for the staff, but when it comes to the make, it felt like not on the same level of fidelity. It felt like we could have done a bit, like, also like maybe a bit of dry brushing on certain details just to tie it together a little bit more. Yeah. But otherwise, another comment I would say is unfortunately you didn't submit like more photos. That's why you only see like 2 photos there, because there were only 2. Obviously, we've got the turnarounds, but we would love to see more photos. Just so we can judge better and give you more higher score. But yeah, otherwise, cool.
Yeah, cool. And guys, just something. Always just be careful with using. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this was a 3D printed part or a part from another kit.
Yes, yeah.
But as Jeff said,
3D printed, yeah.
Okay, so all I'm saying is, guys, just be careful with that. Do try to find a good middle ground to sell the detail combination there. That staff, Sanji gun is very cool. Oh, just a gun. It's very cool. Sorry, Jeff. And Guandao, they're very cool. They're very, very cool looking weapons. I love that somebody did a Sun Wukong build. I actually would love to see more Kung Fu style builds as well. More, when I say Kung Fu, I mean, like, I would like to see builds that have a bit of the like Kung Fu feel or Dynasty Warriors feel or whatever as well. I feel like that kind of thing is popular, but we don't see enough of it. Sakura Gundam. So the color scheme of this really does remind me of Sakura Wars when I first saw it. And this is very sweet. Like, it's got a very sweet kind of vibe to it. That gradation in the grass is cool because it speaks of like a bit of a shadow, and it also speaks of like texture in the grass. So the builder didn't just go straight green. It's very pretty. It's also fun to see how it lights up in the UV light. I thought this was a fun little build. It's a very sweet build, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the real grade. Yeah,
that's
it is
the real grade.
Yeah. So yeah, I know. Like, I know how much effort is there. dear builder, to enhance this in future, I think really look into some of the pink panel liners that are available. Like Tamiya's got a really good one, actually.
Yeah.
That would have just
Quick
helped it.
flex
I
your
think that
own,
would
you
have
know.
helped a little bit. Yeah,
Mm.
just to bring out
And
that detail a bit more.
mm,
But that's all I really want to say. Like, it's hard for me
yeah.
to like comment on this. Other than that, Jeff, I know you're dying to talk about the cherry blossoms in the back and how well they're done, but carry on.
Yeah, but first off, your painting foundation is like very strong. The
Mm,
combination of colors works really well. You know, obviously it's got the sakura motif, so yeah, that's really well made. The base is also very well made as well. You know, it's simple, but it's like well executed.
mm,
The only thing I would say, like what Paul has mentioned, is the panel lining. So, you know, maybe exploring if you want to do like, obviously you probably won't use black here. You probably want to use something that's more on theme. Like you can do like a more pink or reddish tone. So you can just buy like enamel colors like red and white and mix your own colors, or yeah, do that. So that there's
mm.
a lot of detail in this kit. We'd love to see it pop a little bit more. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and also
definitely.
decals, eh?
And
Yeah, there's no
yeah,
decals. So
yeah, I wanted to also comment on that. I feel like decals could have enhanced this quite a bit. Perhaps just the right type of decals. It would have just, I think, to the builder, I think having used specific types of decals would have enhanced this. But you
yeah,
had to
like
use the right one. So
flowery
maybe,
type. Yeah, like flowery type
yeah,
of decals.
yeah. But cool build, very
Hmm.
cool build. Um, I also, I like how your reference. I like how your reference came through in this as well.
Hmm.
Also, like when you see it, it looks like it is really floating. The
Yeah.
base is quite well obscured when you view this
Hmm.
at range.
Yeah.
And here's that thing Jeff was talking about earlier, where they use
Yeah, where you just
where you use black to just kind of cauterize the diorama so that
hmm.
the focus can be on the actual
Yeah.
point. You
I
kind
also
of
love
vignetting
the
a bit.
the sakura petals on the ground. Yeah.
Mm. Tree is
Nice
designed
touch.
well too. Hey,
Yeah.
it's got a
Hmm.
cool design.
Yeah.
It was considered. I like that.
Hmm. So yeah, when
Boom.
you look at this piece, there's like motion and more to it.
So,
Okay, cool.
should I say this as like Listen El Gundam or Listen El Gundam? um, yeah, guys. I mean, it's Dune inspired. I'm already
Hmm.
halfway there. This money shot is cool. Um, I love this sandworm. In fact, guys, when you see the turnaround, the whole illusion of
Hmm.
how the sandworm of how Shao Elude is done, it's completely lost. This is definitely a diorama that, like much like one of the earlier ones, it's kind of like a set. It's very well done for photography. You know,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
LED, like some subtle LED in there. I'm
Uh,
actually
I,
curious
I'm
about
I'm
that.
actually
Yeah,
I don't think it could be a fluorescent blue.
fluorescent paint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
because I
I,
was
I
gonna.
think that's what
Yeah,
it is. I'm not sure
it could
actually.
be.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, the
because
builder
if
can
it
let us
was,
know. Yeah.
yeah, because if it was 3D printed, or if it was transparent, I imagine it was 3D printed. And then I don't see cabling or anything going in there,
Hmm.
so it's being powered by Voodoo, or like you said, it's UV lights. Either way, it's a nice effect.
Hmm.
Again, very very monochrome build, very challenging. I felt.
Hmm.
So you're brave in your own way here, builder, in that you took a very mono color concept and
Well,
you
I, I
had to
I think
find
it
ways.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, it does work. Yeah, just you definitely did this. You did hard mode. You chose hard mode for this. So yeah.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
but very cool, very
Yeah.
cool.
So
Cool. And then
with the
see.
rest. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just saying, do you see like what I mean by like the how the diorama like sort of appears, like, all of that illusion like dies in the diorama, but it's beautiful in the photo. But sometimes
Hmm.
that's what you need. That's movie magic, and that's
Hmm.
okay. You know. Cool. Sorry, Jeff, you wanted to say something.
Yeah. So, when you're talking about the monochromatic color scheme, I think that works where enhances your accent colors and details, with the eyes and the chest vents being blue and those are certain details being blue. Those will pop out like much stronger. And
Mm,
this is just a very unique piece. overall, where even your color grading, your money shot, that's like very well executed, like tying to the reference material.
Mm.
So I would love to see like certain detail painting with more control. Is like I think you did some different colors for the pistons on the shoulders or something, but there was a bit of like over paint, I think. Um,
Mm.
some weathering, just a little bit of weathering, like of like
Oh,
sand
sand for the
weathering.
legs and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll like enhance and just tie everything up together even better.
Again,
Um,
it's stuff that we can do on our one-on-one before
mm,
Jeff gets too much in the weeds with you, because he's passionate and I am too. I also want to talk about stuff, but I know that there's a few more
yeah.
bolts to go. Sorry, dude. I didn't mean to
And
cut you
also
off
the
so bad.
base itself,
Yeah.
when we're looking close in the photos, that was great in those money shots. But when we look at the turnarounds, then yeah, it could have benefited from a little bit more work. But yeah, otherwise,
Also,
awesome.
Builder, please DM me with where you got your foam from. Wow, was that the last one? Sorry, dude. I
Yeah.
actually, why did I keep thinking there was more? Okay. Um, Firstly, thank you to everybody who's still here. I see there's like still about 40 of you guys here. Wow. Okay, this has been a long one. Jeff and I really have tried our best to keep things short and succinct and brief. So what's going to happen is we're going to go into our winners. We're going to go into our winners now. We're going to have the
Beginners,
beginners first, and then we're going to see the
open
open
category.
category winners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, again, I say this, everybody did an amazing build here.
Mm.
This was incredibly difficult. I am scared. I'm not even being funny with you guys. I'm very scared because I know that all of you put so much love and effort and all that into your builds. And just know that Jeff and I really did consider a lot of angles. We really did look into these things. We were very, very insane with it. And so we hope that, I know we're not going to make everybody happy, and I'm sorry, but we do hope that you know that your build was amazing, even if it doesn't reach the top 3. And you will
Well,
see
it's
that
amazing.
as well.
You guys have
Mhm.
achieved a lot, for yourself.
Yeah. And you will see that when the BuildForce as a whole gets to vote for your stuff as well, and you'll see how cool your stuff is as well. Like, I hope you know that. And yeah, to everybody that entered, like, congratulations, you've done amazing work. I'm really humbled by what you guys are doing. That
Yeah, like
said, drum
be
roll.
very proud that you guys have like finished. Even for the
Mm,
guys that like we can see that there was a bit of a rushingness towards the end.
you still
However,
finished.
the fact that you like finished, took photo of what you have, submitted it,
You are a
that's
winner.
very good on you. Yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm looking at Sena's chat. You're a winner. Okay, here we
yeah.
go.
Yeah, cool.
Oh,
Let's
fudge. Let's
go.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Boom.
Yeah, yeah.
Third place
It
for the
plays. Yay.
beginners goes to Paint Me Like One of Your JDMs by 2 Pies McGee. Or McGee. 2 Pies McGee. Congratulations, 2 Pies McGee.
Well done. Congratulations.
Very nice. Oh, and now I know.
Mhm.
Cool. Next one. Dun, 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 dun. Second place goes to Demi Trainer
Hey,
version Choo Choo by Lucian.
Lucian.
Very cool.
Well done, dude.
So well done. I should have known this was Lucian, actually. Got that, like, it's got that color. Very cool. And first place goes for boom, 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 boom.
You.
Blommerkant by Rainy
Lumican.
Days. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
This was hard. This was a tough choice. There was lots of things to
Mm.
consider, but ultimately, for me at least, yeah, it was hair. It was neck and neck with this. I thought there was some things that you just did with your paint that were just interesting. But anyway,
Mm.
that's just how the cookie crumbles for this.
Yeah. It's
Um,
the kit, the base, all of it, It's, yeah.
yeah.
Factored
So
into it. Yeah. It was very
it's a
close,
goodie.
guys. Like, yeah. The points were
Yeah,
just really, really close.
like a hair. It's
Yeah.
like literally a hair. they're both builds. And also the cool thing is you guys are all winners, and first place gets to choose their favorite kit of the three, and then second place chooses theirs, and third place chooses theirs. And Jeff, am I correct? Of the beginner winners, they all win a nipper. Hey, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you
guys,
guys are
like
all getting great nippers.
after this is done, like maybe even tonight or tomorrow, just give us a bit of time. We will reach out to everybody, and then you guys will pick your prizes and we'll sort them out for you. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, please tell me there's a sheet before we see the winners.
Yeah. So
okay?
we will see.
There we go. Okay.
See all of them together. Yeah.
Yeah. First, second, and third. Bask in the glory that is your win.
Yay.
Yeah. Madness. Okay.
Guys.
Okay.
So now we're gonna go on to the open category. Yeah.
It's a good thing I've got a mic shield here, so when I blow out, at least I'm not like fluttering the mic too much. Okay. Third place. Went to Vidal. Madness.
Vidal.
Okay. This should show you. Yeah. Prepare yourselves. Yeah. Okay. Wow, this kit's amazing, and this is Moody. Oh my word! I should have. There was a part of me that thought so actually, because there's something about the panel lining style that is done here that really spoke to me of Moody. Yeah. Moody, my dude. Wow. Wow. Okay, second place. Is everybody holding on to their asses? Wait for it. Imp by Wowen. Yeah.
Well done, dude.
Again, lots of dynamics happening here. Clever kit bashing, clever, brave paint approach. A diorama that could essentially be shot from lots of different angles. Beautiful money shots. Great presentation, cool story, cool modifications. Guys, I'm sure a lot of you agree. I'm sure there's some of you who thought this might have been first place, actually. I'm sure there's some of you who thought Vidal should be first place. These guys, it happens. Okay, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for first place? Because I don't know if I'm ready for first place. Okay. Guys, just take a moment. I've got to build this up because holy shit! Okay, and 2, 1. Here we go. The winner of the 2024 Gunpla SA BuildOff Championship is Camel on the Moon by Zunu.
Dude. Now we actually get to see a close up of the pilot there.
It would be criminal. And it would be criminal if this didn't come first, second, or third. I'm sure Zenu was crapping in his pants a little. But this is very, very, very well deserved. I feel anyway. I look at this and I've been, guys, just so you guys know, Jeff and I have literally been staring at this shit like for the last few days. When I say shit, I'm just talking about the intenseness of the pressure. I mean, I was actually, before we even had the show, I was actually feeling sick today because of scrutinizing things again and trying to make sure that it's been insane. It's been intense. But this is the winner for 2024. And Zenu, there's things that you've done with this kit, with your weathering and stuff, where I feel like I'm like, okay, let's do this, bro. Yeah. And that's like my thing. And please, it's awesome. And so guys, please give the man a high five, take a bow.
Yeah. I think also just a quick shout out to everybody. So there's our top 3. I would say after this podcast, take your time to just everybody in the finished builds channel, post your photos, just so individually, just so that everybody can take a good look at your builds.
Guys,
they need the attention.
There, like shit, this was hard. This was so hard. This was such a hard choice. I I think next year, I think it's actually easier for me to compete next year. I think I'm not even going to judge next year because it's too much. I kid, of course. I'd love to compete, but
but next year
like
we
this.
will like plan ahead and get a third judge, at least a third judge. Yeah, for this.
Yeah, this is very cool. Guys, look at this. Look at how amazing this is. Like all of these winners, just to remind you, first place gets the Jeff. You're gonna take me through this. First place gets the Iwata, correct?
The Iwata Eclipse, yeah.
Okay.
And the
Then they
second
get to
place
choose
is
from.
yeah.
Yeah, second
Sorry.
place.
Second place is the
No.
MadWorks JM00 set, and the third place is the MadWorks high quality airbrush. And then beyond that is like the first place winner will get to have a first pick among the three
Yep.
Master Race version Kentucky kits, and then second place will have a third pick. So which just means like guys, I will reach out to the first place winners for both the open and the beginner first, and and then go to the next person afterwards. Yeah. So bear with us. Give us a bit of time.
Yeah, bear with us. Also, it took a lot of energy and strength and willpower to make sure that fully armored double Zeta Gundam got into the prize pool. And Jeff will tell you if you guys ever want to know. Paul shed a bit of a tear on that one. So I'm glad to see that it's going to go to a good home.
Deserving, yeah.
Zenu, I'm looking forward to seeing this Campbell in person. Moody, I'm looking forward to seeing your Vidal in person.
Everybody.
And I just want to mention as well, there's been some incredible concepts in this build, which in this champions, like Scott's. I loved Scott's diorama. And Scott did bring the kit over to the store the other day, and I was like, I can't look at it. And then I sort of peeked at it a little bit, in all fairness. But now I get to really look at it in person as well, which is cool. And I mean, that's also, it's amazing. Again, it's one of those builds. I'm sorry that we can't have a top 5, maybe if we can make like lots more money, we can actually have a top 5, then we can have more prizes. But yeah, thank you
like,
again.
The top 3 is like a norm for competitions, so yeah.
So guys, just a bit, just something that I got to say here. Firstly, thank you to this amazing community. You guys are amazing. Okay, like it's been what? It's 3 years, Jeff. It's 3 years. Our first competition, I think, was a whole 12 people that entered, wasn't it? And this one was 34. I think it was 34.
You mean entering? There was 36 entered.
36 entered, 34 submitted, like finished. I think it was 33 finished.
Close enough.
Guys, wow. Okay, wow. Please, like, take the time to just acknowledge how awesome that is. Okay, that is a big thing. We've gone from having almost no Gundam or sci-fi competitions in this country to having this massive one, which rivals a lot of the more common model subjects. Okay, so that's pretty cool. The quality of you guys, it's insane. It's like really insane. I think some of you guys a lot of you guys can totally moonlight as building Gundam kits for other people. If you wanted to do commissions, I've seen this is art, guys. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's just been like really inspiring to see the skill level in this community grow the way it has. Your photography, your posing, your compositions in your shots, your ideas, your execution. Sorry, I know, Jeff, I keep speaking over this poor man, but like it's so inspiring, and Jeff and I couldn't have asked for more. I mean, this is why we started Gunpla SA. We didn't want to build alone anymore. We wanted to see what was out there. So
and I know for myself, if I were to enter like our championships here, I wouldn't even get close to the top 5, like 5 or something. So yeah, it's really amazing. And now, like looking at this like entry image or what's it, the cover image, next year it's going to be replaced by our current, because all of these are from GBWC. So all of these will
Mm-hmm.
be replaced by our own pictures going for the next one. Yeah. So guys,
I can
be very
also,
proud of yourself. Yeah.
and also without sounding a little bit too cheeky, I also feel that if GBWC wasn't allowing South Africa as a country until now, it was maybe because we weren't ready yet. If GBWC is not allowing Africa to compete, it's because they're scared of your skills, guys. And I mean that.
Well, it's
I
also
think,
we need the younger demographics as well. So
yeah,
if you
yeah,
guys
of
have
course.
any
Yeah, yeah,
youngsters,
yeah.
like the
Jeff
yeah.
doesn't do team sports. He doesn't know what I'm getting at. He doesn't know.
Yeah,
I'm getting in with this rah energy. Yes, of course, there's all kinds of bureaucracy and
yeah.
marketing and stuff. But seriously, they're scared, bro. They're scared. Look at this skill. It's awesome. Cool. With that said, yeah, thank you for making Gunpla say awesome. Thank you for making the community awesome. Thank you for being great. Please say thank you to Jeff, who meticulously organized all of the cool stuff like the instructions and all that and the structure of this competition. Please thank this man. He also goes through the very difficult task of having to put people's photos in a huge folder and then send them to me. And it's stuff that like,
I
yeah,
had to rename every single one of them just to take out the name of a builder. But yeah, we learned that
yeah.
it's not you guys, it's Google. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, we learned a lot of stuff. So yeah, guys, remember, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, recognize the awesome that you've done here, and remember to keep building
Yeah,
joy.
let me grab my dinosaur
Congratulations
here.
to the winners, Melting Glory.
Bye.
Wow.
And then look out for the spot prizes form coming out soon on Discord. Yeah, I will keep you guys posted. Bye.
Yeah. Check out our OnlyFans. I'm kidding. There isn't one. Okay, bye. I love you.
Bye.
Bye.